Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. On your screen, we're going to be seeing Revival Esports, a known team for quite a while. They've been around in the Challenger scene for a little while. And SK Gaming, number 2 seed, heading to the World Championships to represent EU.
Yeah, so the band's coming out, Freya, Cirquet, and then Ao Kwong for Revival Esports. Once again, we don't have a picture of him. He does not like being photographed. If you've ever tried to photograph a dragon, you'll find it's very hard. And we haven't found the right photographer for the job just yet. Thor also banned away, and Vulcan, first pick, fairly standard stuff. The question is, as always, can these teams make Vulcan work? Does Revival have a Vulcan player?
Well, I mean, SK Gaming would have put it in the jungle, probably knowing zeros, so it's not a surprise to see them take that one away. And on top of that, they've still got Captain Twig, who can also play it. This is sort of a warm-up game for SK Gaming going to Worlds now, this little tournament, just to, you know, refresh themselves, make sure they're all still on the same page and things, and get themselves primed for it. Revival Esports locking in Apollo and Geb, so their duo lane is now sorted. And it's back over to SK Gaming for their next pick.
Loki. Alright, so likely a solo laner, could potentially be mid or jungle or ADC. We have seen him in those roles. You making that face, but we have.
Yeah, I know.
It's happened.
But still.
It's primarily a solo laner.
It is an AA. Sorry, it is EU. I was going to say it is an
It
AA.
is
Wow.
Captain Twig.
It is Twig.
Also,
Reels
anyone can make Loki mid work.
Reels could do it in the ADK role, but we don't really see him do that. He normally sticks to true, tried and tested.
Yeah.
I like them taking Apollo away from him. I like them taking Vulcan away from Zeros and from Captain Twig as well. Cyrus is going to be banned out by SK Gaming. They don't want to have to deal with that. So that Cyrus ban says to Mikra that is going to be a Loki solo.
Yeah. Osiris is very good against Loki because the tether will track him in stealth and pull him out of it. Granted, Loki is still very fast when he's stealth, so it's not a 100% kind of thing, but Rom banned away, and it looks like the target for a few of these bans is Reels. I mean, Apollo picked, Rom banned, Freya banned, and that's all his god pool.
Is it really? Is it really?
Well, it's not all of his god pool, but they're all part of his god pool.
The question is Reels really going to play Neef? Because that's the one thing that people underestimate about Neef is the Sylvanas Neef lane. It is absolutely disgusting to go against because the push is insane, on top of the fact that the sustain is even crazier. So it's very difficult to get those two out of the lane at the best of times anyway, but now with the World Weaver going to be available to actually set up ganks for Loki and Nuwa, there's a big global presence to an extent with Nuwa and Neef on the map.
Yeah, Neef's global presence often underestimated, but for ganks it's absolutely invaluable, and Revival Esports needs to pick into that. Zhonghui and Nemesis pretty good about that. But Vulcan is still going to be a little vulnerable, I think.
He's going to be vulnerable, but there's a lot more on the front line to deal with. Vulcan has some protection there, but talking about lack of protection now is the fact that the pick Bastet have SK Gaming, so they're going to look to take out that Vulcan first of all in those fights, I expect.
Yeah, Bastet's such an interesting pick. Incredibly high damage character. One of the few AD casters that sort of keep scaling throughout the game, whereas some of the others like Thor, who's so well known for hitting hard with his abilities, once you hit the mid game, you really transition to more of like an initiator and support, and unless you're super fed and zero gars, you're likely not going to be confirming those abilities or far enough ahead to keep killing by yourself.
Well, guys, Revival Esports and SK Gaming trying to set the record for the fastest pick and ban phase possible. That over with. We'll be right back once these guys load in with all the action from this game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Revival Esports on your screens are going to be coming up against the number 2 seeded team going to the World Championships, SK Gaming. Let's discuss who's playing what and where they're all playing. At the moment, Revival Esports will be on the bottom side of the map, the left-hand side of your spectator UI. Paladin is going to be playing Vulcan, probably in the mid lane. G-Flex is going to be playing Nemesis in the jungle. Jizzern is going to be playing Zhonghui, more than likely in the solo lane. Maf for the win is going to be playing Apollo in the duo lane alongside Crimson's Skull on Geb.
Well, on the right-hand side, hold that thought. Paladin's about to get caught out with the Spirit Arrow on another route. It's lots of damage, and that's a dead Vulcan. First blood going over to SK Gaming, and it's on Reels. He is up 365 gold.
See, I don't know why they don't go back to base here. This is my call. I like going back to base if you get first blood before the timer, and you can buy boots. If it goes to the jungler, you can get Hog 2, or you can get boots as well. So it advances your build a little bit quicker and puts that gold to use. A lot of teams don't do that. I don't know why. I'm always confused by that.
I think he might just go to lane and go for the earlier Devil Gloves.
They're after another one. He's going to get him again. Please, no. Paladin, this is not a good call. Paladin? Paladin, stop. Stop, not two.
Oh, there's a weave, too. Oh, the weave pops. Paladin is going to die for a second time. Fool me once.
Is that
shame
a record?
on you. Fool me twice. Shame on you.
Is that a record?
I don't know, but it's rude.
Are you gotta be so... Sorry. Anyway, Zeros, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a mix-up of SK Gaming. A few of them changing roles. Badge is going to be in the jungle this time round, so he won't be able to feed First Blood. As we just saw, he didn't do that on his usual Geb support. Zeros is actually going to be in the mid lane playing Nox. It appears production for Nox was similar to Noir during the picks and ban phase.
Oh,
but
left-hand
no, it is
side, Maniac is actually able to steal a blue buff. He has got Reels to support him, and with the body blocks and the showing up of Neath, now they're going to run away.
He's a maniac.
Happy cowards.
Maniac. Is he going to get away? That's the question. Mid Harpy's still up. Could he take them as well? I don't think he can. He's not got the hog available, and they didn't actually do that left-hand Harpies because they were busy taking the right ones. Reels does return to lane though. Happy as Larry.
Crimson Skull has already used his Hand of the Gods. Will show up there, taking some nice damage from Zeros on that Nox, and looks like mid Harpies are going to stay up for a while. They'll probably just have Badger pick those up on his way through the middle lane. Speaking of junglers in the solo lane, actually getting pushed pretty hard is SK Gaming. They're a low-key Bastet. It should not be surprising to anyone.
Nah, it's going to take him a little bit of time to clear out all these waves as well. Loki doesn't have the greatest start of the DK, but he's going to get some nice damage off with the Vanish and the pounce in onto that Zhang Kui, forcing him back to the tower below half HP. He has no health potions, but he does have Exorcism, so he could sustain back up.
He's going to try his best. Badger rotating out of solo lane and looking for the invade onto... looks like the back Harpies, or is he going to cross? Alright, he's going to cross and probably go directly for the speed buff and then to mid camp. That's likely his path. Over in the left-hand lane, notice how Reels is going to make rotation out of lane with Maniac following suit. The speed invade is nicely coordinated and will be a free buff.
Yep, Badger going to take that one down with the help of Maniac and Reels as well. They're going to soak up the experience and then steal back Harpies as well. Nemesis is going to turn up, find a party in her jungle. The pounce does not connect, dashes through, but now the dash is on cooldown. If a root lands from Maniac, there could be trouble, but he's already thrown it out. He doesn't land the pull either. Maniac goes back to solo lane. You are drunk. As you can see, G-Flex trying to go aggressive, but Zeros is here to save the day along with Reels. Reels gets himself another kill.
Yeah, great use of Spirit Arrow there, just confirming that kill. Jumping in is Badger. He's going to take tower damage, though, has to jump back. Paladin bleeding, but not bleeding out, will stay alive, having to return to base for the third time before the 3-minute mark.
Well, Loki does manage to get the assassinate off Captain Twig in the solo lane, managing to take down that Zhang Kui. That's the end of him for now. So 4-0 early on in this game for SK Gaming. They're in full control right now, and they're looking good for moving on to the next round.
They really, really are. Alright, well, Apollo over in the left-hand lane, one of the least behind members, so probably going to be one of the next focuses for SK Gaming, who likely, at this point, they've won middle lane. Middle lane is over. You've given a Nox a substantial advantage up against Vulcan, and that's enough for Zeros to just win it by himself, so now SK Gaming is going to look to take that advantage and expand it to the other parts of the map. Jungler, pretty shut down as well, so... it's likely dual lane or maybe solo, but Twig seems to have that on lock.
He does seem to have it on lock. Right-hand Harpies have spawned. Crimson Skull in the area. Only level 3 though. He's going to meet Zeros, and this is going to be a lot of burst damage you can expect onto him. Does a good job of rolling out though, and not taking too much poker damage for that. Soaking up those mid Harpies for himself, getting himself going. Maniac's still level 4, but he'll be fine sooner rather than later after this wave goes down, I expect.
Over in left lane, a little bit of free farm going to this Apollo. And that's going to be good news for him. Returning to base early on, Israel's has Devo Gauntlets and rank 1 of boots, so moving a little bit faster. In the middle lane, it is 3-on-2, but Zeros and Maniac don't care as the kill goes down yet again in the solo lane. Captain Twig just on fire, using his ultimate to secure those kills. You'd think a Zhang Kui would be hard to kill, but Twig just doesn't seem to care.
Well, he does play Zhang Kui himself quite a lot, so he understands how that god works, and is able to exploit its weaknesses when the cooldowns are up. Do you think this is SK's master plan here, Crep? We're seeing an insight into what they're going to do at Worlds. They're going to throw everybody off by all lane switching, and nobody's going to be prepared for it.
I bet it is, and then it's just a really, really poor idea to show us all about a month in advance.
Just let us all know in advance that we've been practicing this.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's going to be ready for it. And then they're going to go back to standard again and survive. Captain Twig going to take a card to the face, but escape problematic situations after proxy farming that back wave. Red buff is available. Badger is in the area. I was going to call him Zeros then. How offensive that would have been. And now Badger's going to actually put the pressure back onto Nemesis. The bleed. Reels just going to kill 2v1 in that situation. The Crimson Skull comes in trying to deal with the issue. But is he going to be able to get out of trouble?
Well, great position from Reels to dodge that shockwave. Now diving tower with the Spirit Arrow to the face, getting the kill. Nice and easy. You know, I think it's safe to say that every adjustment you see a team making this tournament is 100% going to be going forward. I think we're going to see Maniac support. We're going to see, you know, the new players on Potato Boys and whatever else we see today. I think we can assume that's 100% what players are going for.
Really think that's going to be the case. I'd be interested to see if that does happen, if we do see Maniac support enter the battle fray, and Zeros is going to be playing mid lane. Especially
Zero's mid is not a joke. Zero's mid is very... He is very good at maging.
He plays Vulcan jungle. Like, if you can play Vulcan jungle, you can play Vulcan mid. It's pretty much how it's going to be.
And then, honestly, Captain Twig is just a jouster. You can put him in any lane and he'll do well. Diving tower, yet again, a third kill. Just... He is poking down this Zhonghui, and it's really astonishing how well he's doing it, considering he is leveling his decoy. And, you know, the idea is when Loki levels his decoy, he's not supposed to be a threat, but somehow that's just not the case.
He is on 28 Heartseeker stacks already. I mean, he's got the pressure on early on in this one, and he's just kept it there time and time and time again. I mean, obviously we saw Zhonghui rushing that Warlock's Ash, and if you take too much poke and you don't manage to heal back up off the Exorcism, it's going to be a world of hurt.
It definitely is, and now that Twig is really starting to level his actual damage abilities, it's going to be tough. On the right-hand side, Zeros will contest those mid-camps. Huge damage onto G-Flex, but he connects onto Vulcan, unfortunately. Now, Vulcan can't really use any of his moves here. Zeros forced to back off, but he will still... I think we can say he won the 1v2. Well, he just hasn't gotten any kills yet.
That backfire actually missed. If that silence connected, he would have been in a lot of trouble. With that Vulcan would have been very, very low down. Captain Twig on the right-hand side, though, going to look for Zhonghui one more time. Going to go in level 10 versus level 7. He's not scared to dive the tower. Look at the poke just from one vanish.
And speaking of dives on the left-hand side, 3 players on the Crimson Skull. They're all going to jump back out. Badger returning to his pounce location, which unfortunately was under towers, so taking a little bit of extra damage. But that should be the left tower going down. Badger not going to drop cats, and they're just going to let the tower go. Interesting call from SK.
I guess they could have taken the tower there, but they're just going to try and deny the farm to the tower as much as possible. Apollo does come back with Nemesis as well. 10-0 early on, 7.5 minutes into this game, 7,500 experience, 4,500 gold. Maybe about 5 probably after seeing Captain Twig take down Zhonghui once more in this lane. Zhonghui's not had the easiest game at all.
No, he is not. Honestly, I think a big part of it is not going boots. He elected to rush directly into Warlock Sash, and he just doesn't have any mobility to get in and clear, and Twig is just able to take full advantage of it by sticking to it, sticking to Zhong and just unloading with the auto attacks. Now proxy farming, and likely we're going to see a little bit of roam coming from our Loki solo laner.
Oh, actually going to go back and take the back Harpies as well. Now he's already taken the tier 1 tower. They've pinged him for the rough expectation of where Captain Twig is now, and you can see Nemesis is checking it back every so often because she realized she could get collapsed on from behind. But look at this again, Captain Twig going to proxy farm another wave behind the tower, but left hand side, Math for the wins in a lot of trouble here. Does get a good mez off to try and get himself out of trouble. Going to actually jump to his chopper and get out before the World Weaver connects for the stun.
It's not going to be enough. Captain Twig now behind the tier 2 tower in middle lane. He's in full Loki mode. He's going wherever he wants and doing whatever he wants. Pinged out every so often, but actually a dive in the middle lane as Badger jumps in. Will die for his sins. Now 12-1, but Zeros believe it will pick up a kill on that ball.
It's not a true SK game if Badger has not died at least once. Crap, that's the state of the game, and that's how the way they have always played it. Gold Fury has been started by Maniac and Reels, but Crimson scored in the air to cause some issues. But a level 5 Geb versus a level 8 and a level 11 could be a world of hurt. Reels with the backflip secures the kill. Maniac's going to pay with his life, however. Reels quite happy to trade against this Zhonghui, but he doesn't know Apollo's nearby. Or does he?
Well, Zero's coming in, gonna drop some damage on that Apollo as Math for the win dashes forward. Probably doesn't want to duel this level 11 knocks to the face. Yeah, huge damage coming out from that combo. Reels will show up, missing the Spirit Arrow, unfortunately, but Captain Twig should be able to get the kill. absolutely annihilating Geizorn on that Zhonghui yet again. I think Twig has... No, he's killed someone else. But he's mostly killed this Zhonghui.
You just keep picking on him, and now you can see Captain Twig come from behind as well. 4 or 5 minutes in this middle lane. Now they pounce on to this Vulcan. Vulcan's going to get destroyed by that Vanish. Real secures the kill for himself. Tier 1 tower goes down. They're going to keep pushing on for the Tier 2. They've got minions with them still. Ultimate coming out from Maniac, plus the root, plus the silence, plus the damage from Nox. And that's going to be ended for Reals to get a double kill for himself. And with those wisps, they're going to be able to heal up and keep on marching if they so choose.
Yeah, it's not the biggest heal, but sitting max, the base value is going to heal for 45 per 5 seconds, so about 250, 225. Captain Twig around the backside, getting hit by auto attacks and getting immediately reconsider. Does have an assassinated if he needs it.
Nice placed autos coming out from Math to win there, actually saving his team from getting attacked from Captain Twig. They must have heard him coming around with that Vanish, one of the only ways of noticing it. Captain Twig's going to try to take away the blue buff, but Zhonghui is here, but Zhonghui needs to be careful that he doesn't fall to the wayside. Blue buff does go in favour of Zhonghui, and Zhonghui versus Captain Twig. He does have his ultimate available, but he's not going to continue the chase. Or is he? Or is he?
You know, I think Twig just wanted a little bit of farm and is going to dip. On the left-hand side, though, Badger jumping in, trying to contest the speed buff, is low on mana, and likely won't get the kill here. Zeros picks up the Nemesis in the middle lane. Math for the win will go up into his ultimate. There's no way he can come back down in this. He just has to leave, and that is a dead speed buff going the way of SK Gaming.
Dead speed buff indeed. Speed buff. Sorry, talking about buffs. The Gold Fury is about to be started up by Reals here. He's bringing it down on his own. The team rotating low on mana, but Crimson Skull in the area. Can he make a hero play? That is the question on my lips right now. But they've spotted him, and no.
He had to try.
Oh, of course he had to try. It was a good, at least attempt for that, but stood an award, and that's going to be the end of your day quite early in this one.
Now Reals charging up an ultimate. I think we're going to see the old 1-2 as Twig goes invisible, ultimate connects, Geizorn dies real quick.
Ow.
Yeah.
That was that's what happens when Loki gets through and gets his Heartseeker full stacked early on. Look at this in the left though. Real's going to fight 2v1 on this side. He's got Captain Twig on the backside, who's going to assassinate in under the tower. Good Aegis coming out from Nemesis though to buy him time. Loki's very, very low on HP, so he's going to have to back out for now. Captain Twig. Reals though still isn't scared of keeping the pressure on here. He's got a weave right in front of him. He's doing a lot of poke to Crimson Skull, but Math for the win comes from behind, and Reals actually secures it with the heal. Backflips away back to his teammates, and Math for the win cannot bring him down as Maniac and Zero's now here to support Reals once more.
A big important part of the Neath playstyle, especially when you're so far ahead, is being over aggressive because your backflip is so strong. You're so good at retreating and backing out that you just want to stay super aggressive and rely on that escape. Position more aggressively, backflip away. Blinking in is Crimson Skull. He's going for Reals, but he's not going to get very far as he's absolutely annihilated by the SK Gaming Hunter. Volcanaut will only connect with the Sylvanas, and now it's SK Gaming going back in. Reals needs a few more auto attacks. The Spirit Arrow on the Paladin. Not able to get it.
Not going to find it for now, but now they're going to try and poke down this tower. Badger around the side might be able to find Math with the bleed. He will connect, and that's a deft Apollo. Maniac tanked up the tower nicely for his team there, and now you're going to see them have to back away to the face. Great pull from Maniac, and that's a dead Nemesis if I've ever seen one.
Wow. Alright, well, not too many players up to defend. SK Gaming is a little bit low on health, and Maniac doesn't really have the sustain needed to keep them alive. Will be returning to base, but never fear, because he can return in a jiffy with his handy-dandy support teleport to gods.
If in doubt, by support teleport to gods, Maniac bringing the new support meta to life, as we can see, as it's back online in 5 seconds time. 13.5 minutes in this game, and one of the things we can talk about this game, Kurt, is the fact that this is the reason SK Gaming are going to Worlds. They played so well as an assassinate comes out from Captain Twig onto Zhonghui, and Maniac teleports in here looking for a second kill. The pull onto Vulcan was good. Are they going to be able to find the kill? That's the question.
Nope, Twig died. Unfortunately, Twig got tower aggro from a fortuitous magma bomb that knocked Maniac away and Twig towards the tower. So that was just the perfect pinpoint location for that magma bomb to land.
Crimson Skull rolling around near the fire giant, putting a ward down, hoping that he can try and defend it, but Maniac's going to find him out, and they're going to 1v1 duel for a little while. But Guardian versus Guardian, nothing much is really going to happen, as Reels goes in Maul, taking down Nemesis in a 2v1 situation. She's looking for Math for the win as well, not scared to trade this damage backwards and forwards. The heal does not connect. There was a good roll from Math. He's trying to duke out the abilities, avoids the heal as well, so Math lives for now. Meanwhile, though, Badger finds Crimson Skull.
Yeah, Rio's just sitting behind the tower and proxy farming. Apollo's gonna rotate over to the to the middle lane and just get some extra farm here. We'll need to return to base soon as Reels is roaming his way towards mid and then right. Looks like this tower is not gonna go down just yet, but if Reels is able to get this fight, no, he won't. As the game ends, throwing in the tower, rivalry starts in 14 minutes and 43 seconds. Will fall to SK Gaming, who, despite their role swaps, are playing very well, and I think this new roster could really work out for them.
A really difficult game for Revival Esports coming up against the World Championship contenders in Atlanta in next month's time. However, at least they got to say they got a couple of kills against them and got to fight SK Game for at least 15 minutes. Guys, we'll be right back with the next round of action, probably the quarterfinals, up next on your screens.